So you add it too late, it gets real dry and cardboardy. Dallas Dunn tried 3 different types of turkey bacon since the real thing went on IR. Ain't no recipe catch fire yet. RC, explain that tweet.
Hey, man, you know what? Snoop Dogg once said, man, you like Harold Melvin without the blue notes. You'll never go platinum. You know why? Because one of the blue notes was Teddy Pendergrass. And that's what Dak Prescott was. He was Teddy Pendergrass. He was bacon. Because, see, when you put bacon with eggs, don't the eggs taste better? When you put bacon on a hamburger, don't the hamburger taste better? But when it's turkey bacon, it just don't hit the same. They didn't try DiNucci turkey bacon. They didn't try Gilbert turkey bacon. And the most turkey bacon of all, they didn't try Andy Dalton. And none of it work. So if you don't give Dak his money, if you don't make sure Dak is secure, then your food will be bland forever. And you might be skinnier, but you're going to be less happy, and you ain't going to have no Super Bowl.
In what might surprise absolutely no one, I like turkey bacon. All right, the next tweet from Ryan Clark this week.
It figures.
Oh,
and
my
pumpkin
word.
pie.
Oh, my word, Jarvis, don't do them like that. Head and shoulders to the out with the Steph Curry shimmy and slide to the dig on him. To the left, and I ain't talking irreplaceable, I'm talking Cupid shuffle. RC, explain that tweet.
Man, did y'all see Jarvis Landry slide Malcolm Butler? And it wasn't one of those kind of routes that, you know what, that you draw up, that Coach Stefanski says, this is the way we're going to run it. He was filling that thing out, and then he hit him with the Cupid shuffle to the left, to the left, to the right, to the right. And then when he stuck him inside and caught the touchdown, he gave him a little Steph Curry shimmy after the 3. And Jarvis Landry has been huge for this team. We talked about what they would be without Odell Beckham Jr., and they are Jarvis Landry's team. 16 catches in the last 2 games, over 200 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's Baker Mayfield's go-to guy, and he gets it going. He even throws passes. But when you hitting boys in the end zone with that right there, man, you got to bring it back to Lafayette, Louisiana with the Cupid shuffle from my guy, because that's what that looked like.
Yeah, he has been spectacular. All right, here comes the 3rd tweet. Brothers, if y'all don't stop joking about this DK Metcalf stiff arm. That's great football by James Bradbury. Open field tackled a fricking alien with his tentacles on his helmet. He was face to face with a grizzly and lived. Didn't DiCaprio win awards for doing the same dang thing? RC, explain that tweet.
First off, Greeny, the word is josing, ribbing, or whatever people are doing. Oh my goodness, look at DK. He got muscles. He stiff-armed Bradbury. Hell no. He got muscles and he got tackled. But that's what's wrong with the world, right? When Leonardo DiCaprio wrestles a bear at the beginning of Revenant, we give him an Oscar. We didn't give him one for What's Eating Gilbert Grape. We didn't give him one for Titanic. We didn't give him one for Gangs of New York. Why we gave it to him? Because he fought a freaking bear. That's why. So James Bradbury does the same thing. He fights the bear, actually wins, and we make fun of him because that's the world we live in. We want to see big offensive players do big physical things because they're usually soft, and oh, let's have fun. You know who enjoys that, Greeny? Soft people. Soft people want to see people get stiff-armed because soft people couldn't imagine having to run up and tackle other people on the other side. So I'm tired of it. I ain't letting DBs get talked about no more. I told y'all that last week. I'm standing for my guys. Hell of a tackle, James Bradbury. You deserve an Oscar.
I love it. Absolutely love it, and you couldn't be more right. All right, Ryan Clark explaining his tweets like nobody else possibly could. Meanwhile, RC, let's talk about your old team. Because the Pittsburgh Steelers' quest for an undefeated season came to an end Monday in Pittsburgh, blowing a 14-point lead to Washington and ultimately losing. Yesterday, Mike Tomlin addressed the loss as only he could.
I live by a coaching creed, man. If you can't get a yard, you don't deserve to win. And that was the case for us. We had several sequences where we had an opportunity where if we gained a yard, it's significant in terms of the development of the outcome of the game, and we were unsuccessful. If you can't get a yard in our game, you don't deserve to win. That's the nuts and bolts element of football, the physicality element of football. We didn't meet that challenge, and so we have some work to do in that area.
All right, RC, I really wanted to bring this game back today because we didn't have a chance to talk to you yesterday as the former Steeler. Ben Roethlisberger is on pace to throw the ball 645 times this year. They've abandoned any pretense of running the football. So the question is, can they win a Super Bowl that way?
You can't. You can't win a Super Bowl relying on your 38-year-old quarterback who is playing well but has a retooled and rebuilt elbow. That's not the way to win football games. You can't have 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1 miss it 13 times this season, which is second worst in the NFL. And that's who the Pittsburgh Steelers are. The Pittsburgh Steelers are a team that was built on physicality. They're an organization that was built on physicality. And when you get 4th and 1, you decide to throw sluggos to the outside to 3rd string running backs. And that's not the way you win. When you can't kick a field goal, when you can't get 4th and 1, so you can seal away the Dallas Cowboys, who we've seen can't stop the run or with any type of proficiency or efficiency. And so for me, the Pittsburgh Steelers need to get back to physicality. They need to get back to an identity that doesn't say Ben Roethlisberger has to drop back 53 times in order for our team to win a football game.
Dominique, what do you think? It's a fascinating one because, again, they're 11-1, so it's hard to complain, but it does feel like they would be trying something that we've never seen before. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of modern football teams try to move away from the run and go with passes, short passes in place of the run. But if the receivers aren't going to catch those short passes, and in certain situations, like Ryan was just mentioning, there's nothing you can do. You have to run the football sometimes. I understand that with the advanced analytics that we have, we understand that passing is more valuable than running the ball. But in football, there are certain times where you have to impose your will. And the Steelers have always been a team that's been able to do that. So I'm not sure that they can just hit a switch and all of a sudden become that physical offense that we're used to seeing them be. But they need to figure something out because having Ben Roethlisberger throw a bunch of 3-yard passes, I don't think is a recipe to survive in the playoffs.
Graziano, what's one reason why they, the last couple of weeks, have run it so much less?
I'll give you 2 reasons. They didn't have James Conner and they didn't have their center, Pouncey. If they get those 2 guys back, maybe they approach that 4th and 1, 4th and short situation a little bit differently. I'm not saying it's about flipping a switch. They obviously are going to lean on their passing game because they love their receivers and they're so deep and so talented there. But in terms of the question of what do you need when you need 1 yard to win a game, I think they'll be better equipped going forward once they get those guys back in the lineup than they were Monday night in the Ryan Clark Bowl.
What do you think, RC? Is it as simple as that? Or they are playing without their lead running back in James Conner, and of course Pouncey has been a mainstay on that offensive line for a very long time. Is it as simple as that? They get those guys back, do they look different?
No, I mean, it's not as simple as that. I think if you get Pouncey back, you do look different as a team. He makes the calls. He's the leader of that offensive line. He has that rapport with Ben Roethlisberger, and he's a guy that's a movement guy that you can get out on the edge and pull and do some things that we don't normally see centers do. But this team hasn't run the ball well all season, and obviously James Conner is their #1 back. But even with him, they relied on the Juju Smith-Schusters, the Claypools, the Deontay Johnsons, the Eric Ebrons to pick up those short yardage gains that they had to get in gotta have it moments. And so for me, it's not just about having the people, it's about a mentality. It's about a strategy that says we are going to stick to the run and we're going to become a team that can be a dual threat when we're playing offense. Until they get back to that, I just don't see how they match up with teams like Kansas City, the Buffalo Bills, who we'll see them play this upcoming week, because those teams can do both. Those teams can defend both, and you're going to need some type of stability offensively other than what Ben Roethlisberger can provide you through the pass game.
Well, and that leads me perfectly to what I wanted to say to Dominique earlier, and I didn't have time, when we were debating who were the leading MVP candidates if we were to take out Mahomes and Rodgers, which granted, I mean, those 2 guys are clearly the front runners. And you brought up Deshaun Watson, who's doing so much on a team that isn't winning. And I love Deshaun Watson. But Ben Roethlisberger's name belongs in this conversation. Ben Roethlisberger has 27 touchdowns, 7 picks. All they do is throw it, and all the receivers do is drop it. That team leads the league by a wide margin in drops, and they're 11-1. Dominique, I think it is unreasonable not to at least put his name in that discussion, no?
All right, he put him in a discussion, and now we can take it out. Like, it doesn't feel like when you watch those games, it doesn't feel like Ben Roethlisberger is the reason why. He's throwing the short passes. The receivers are the key to that offense. So I understand why you want to put him in there. We can put him in there for a second. We can discuss it, and then me and my man Dan Graziano can go grab that name and throw it out where it belongs, nowhere near those other names. Sorry.